Yo ho, what is up here, guys and gals? Caleb Borkman once again here. What is up? What is up? Yeah, just wanted to go over a couple of things that have happened today. I'm still here, sleeping in the car, doing that whole entire thing, just kind of spontaneous. Just wanted to do it, sort of vibe, right? Quick little things. Had a couple conversations today that were pretty damn good. Met a couple people actually on the Lyft ride that I did. Started to understand some intentions for certain things that I've been thinking up, and actually going to be meditating here on them here in just like right after this video. But here in the back of my car, as you can see. Make fun of me, whatever, I don't care. But nonetheless, and also as well, actually ended up going and crashing at a different place last night. Didn't even make it into the actual 24-hour fitness, as you may have heard in the last video. That's what I was going to go do. Well, I ended up just falling asleep in the parking lot right when I got here. And actually found out that, hey, it's actually pretty well lit. And I'm probably going to end up crashing out here again tonight. Just got my shower in, just got my teeth brushed and all that good jazz, and now ready to get a rolling. So besides all of that, let's dive into some good stuff, something that may be able to help you that I have found out today, or at least relearned. Couple of different things. So main takeaways from today was, you got to have intentions with every single thing you do, right? You got to have intentions. And what do I mean by that? So I've right now got a bunch of different options, with different types of jobs that I can do, with different types of places that I can live. And there's just options in living, jobs, and also as well, options in like what I could do next, right? So really, when it comes to it, because there's so many options, I don't know about you, but I know how my brain works. It will go and want to do every single one of them, and then get overwhelmed because it wants to do every single one of them, and it tries to, and the ADHD in me, it just goes wild, right? It just goes fucking buck wild, and sometimes it just kind of takes over, and I've got to be able to control it in some form, right? The main ways that I utilize to be able to control it is by 1, meditation, 2, working out, like exercising, all that good jazz, being consistent with it, and 3, making sure that I'm putting good food into my body, or at least better than junk food, into my body, so that way I can mentally perform. I guess there's really 5 of them. 4 would be definitely keeping on some sort of a sleep schedule. I'm really terrible at that one, to be honest. So at least sleeping, being optimized when going to sleep, and then actually getting a decent amount of sleep, right? And then that 5th one is definitely going to be all up in the mind, how you think about yourself, how you think about what you're doing on the day-to-day basis, and what really is able to contribute to that one is actually writing down what your focuses are currently, what your goals are currently, and what your overall, and then your micro as well. I still have trouble personally with the micro ones. I still look at the overall basis, but nonetheless, everybody's learning, right? It's all a testing, and it's all a process. So besides that, just really wanted to mention it because the whole entire thing is like, if you don't have an intention in what you're doing, then you're literally wasting time, right? So for a better example here, one of my buddies back in Orlando, right? He mentioned to me that, he may be able to get me a job in IT, right? Well, I have a little bit of IT experience, right? I've worked for some NASCAR stuff before. It wasn't through NASCAR, but it was just a company that was partnered with NASCAR, and we were at the NASCAR races. But it doesn't really matter. The point is, I was doing some IT work, and because of that, I may be able to get a job in the IT field that he was talking about, right? Well, the thing is, for me personally, right now, as I've been discovering myself more and everything like that, and really asking, like, what do I want in my own life? Not just to make me happy, but also what do I need in my life to be able to grow and continuously be able to understand what actually brings me enjoyment. Um, I noticed that I really want to get into certain niches, such as like the dog training niche. I've always wanted to go into real estate, and and I've actually got an intentions behind those as well. So what those intentions are with that would be for example, the real estate. I've always loved being able to figure out how processes of negotiations work, and that's I think another reason why. Sorry, I'm turning the music down. Another reason why I've gotten into electronic flipping again, because I really want to understand how the process of negotiation works for those products. Um, and then something like the dog niche, right? I've always noticed that whenever I come around a dog, I'm the first one to freaking drop down on the ground and, literally in the middle of public, I can give two fucks. And then go and pet the dog. And even if it's shy, make sure that it feels loved and everything like that, right? And I know I'm talking about myself here a lot, and I'm saying but I'm just trying to explain, like, if you don't have an intention behind what you're doing and you don't see the things that you actually may enjoy in your life, then they're going to pass by and you're not even going to notice, and you're going to wonder why you don't have the fulfillment that you want in your own personal life. So it's worth taking the time to sit down. You don't have to call it meditation. I mean, literally, meditation is simply, if I'm going to actually butcher this definition, I don't want to butcher the definition, but pretty much what it is just a clearing of the mind, focusing on one question at a time, just calming the mind, and getting it to settle from all of the thoughts that we have every single day, because society is full of dopamine hits, aka our cell phones, and every single other thing that's around us these days, right? So because of that, we're pretty much pre-programmed to have constant, like, thought, and that just doesn't work out very well when you are trying to sit down and figure out what you actually want in your own life, right? It just doesn't work out, because when you do that, you're jumping everywhere, and when you're jumping everywhere, you're chasing the shiny object, as people say. And when you're doing that, um, you're just simply not able to get anything done, because you can't be consistent with whatever you're doing, because you've already jumped to the next thing, right? And I don't mean to poke at anybody for that, because that's me. Like, I've done that forever, and I've just finally, I mean, I've realized it before, kind of, but I've more and as I've gone here, I've realized it more and more, and it keeps coming up, and it keeps looping around in my own life. So therefore, I hope that my experience is able to help somebody else. So, um, you know, definitely ask questions. If you have any questions on it, I would love to be able to answer those. And I'd love to be able to chat with others who have dealt with this as well, because I know it's not just me by any means. Because I've met other people who have dealt with this as well. So I think that would be dope to be able to speak to more people on this topic, because it's worthwhile. Like there's an intent behind it, and the intent is to be able to help people fucking better their own lives. Like I love that. So, nevertheless, beside that, going back to the intent thing, like it is definitely worth having intent, and that is something to focus on. Yeah, so past that, going on to the next thing, talked about the 24-hour, talked about the intent, talked about potential ways to be able to go into next, right? Um, so I've got some options to be able to rather stay down here, and just live out of my car, pretty much save money here in Fort Lauderdale, / Miami. And with this, I've noticed that uh, it it's more than it's there's a hell of a lot more opportunity down here. Let's just put it as that, rather than stuttering. Um, there's a hell of a lot more opportunity down here. The people, it's hit or miss. It's definitely hit or miss compared to a place like Orlando. I mean, Orlando's got its people that just aren't that great either. But here it seems like a little bit more hit or miss. There's still, it seems like there's some decent people. I've not actually I can't really say for 100% sure. Again, this is all stuff that I've kind of heard. I've not, really dug deep into anybody here. Because I haven't been here long enough to make actual friends, right? So I don't know how the actual vibe is, overall, the personality of people, but I'm not one to judge. So I just see, or try to anyways see facts where I can. So and getting better at that, of course. But nevertheless, that is a potential. Another potential is to move back, or move somewhere else, I guess I should say, in Orlando, to a place called Winter Park. And it's a pretty nice house. It would be a smaller room than I have right now. It would be with roommates, which is fine. I would rather have roommates personally, just because living by myself, I'd freak out. At this point in my life, I would not know what the hell to do. I've lived by myself before, and it was not fun. Not fun at all. In a city where I knew nobody. And yeah, that is a potential there. And again, it's like $850 a month, which isn't terrible by any means. But it is still $850 that I really don't want to spend right now. Just simply because I want to get my life back in order. And again, make sure that I'm getting into jobs right now that have intent in them, and a reasoning behind them, right? And also, I would like to get into jobs that are able to wrap around the business, or businesses that I eventually get into, right? Or am doing as a side hustle, right? Which is honestly, I personally believe, one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Like if you're wanting to get into a business, then get a job that is helping that business in some sort of way. It doesn't have to be directly in the niche, but at least have something that you're going to be utilizing in the business that you're working on the day to day in the job. So I mean, pretty much every business is going to need sales, right? So that's maybe a bad example to just say sales, because every business needs that. But say for example, the dog niche, right? Say the dog niche. It may be smart to go get a job at a dog trainer, right? Or a doggy daycare, right? Or something in that regard, right? Because you're ultimately going to be able to utilize those skills to be able to then go and take them and develop your own business out of it. So that's a one potential way there. Um, so past that, yeah, exactly. Sorry, I was trying to remember where I was. Orlando, right? If I do that, then I will end up getting another job, something that's able to pay a little bit more than the restaurant that I'm currently working at. Again, the restaurant was initially, there was an intention there. It was to get into the bartending side of things, which the reason I wanted to get into bartending was because I wanted to be able to talk better to people because I've sat behind a computer for so long that I've just not been very good at it. So that was the intention there with that. And I thought that, also would help me in the regard to like traveling for bartending and whatever not. So past that, uh, yeah, that could be a thing. But past that, um, my parents also let me know that I could also move back in with them. And ugh, I mean, that's one of those ego hit things. I think that I think it is like actually one of my buddies was saying that tonight. Like, it's more on the side of ego. So it's like, yeah, it may be an ego hit, but if it needs to be done, then it needs to be done. And again, have the intentions already set, have the goals already set. Like, I'm going to spend 3 months here or 6 months or whatever it is, and get exactly to where I want to be in my own business and in my own life, and then move back out. Right. So don't just go in there and, go willy nilly and not have an actual plan, right? Because if you don't have a plan with it, just like anything in your life, you're going to be running around with your head cut off. Like it's just as simple as that. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that, um, because otherwise you're just simply gonna be in loops, and you're not ever gonna be able to figure out why. And it stinks. So um, yeah, I would highly recommend to always have some sort of plan. But that is again a potential. I don't know yet. Of course, I want to help out with bills or something in that regard. I don't want to just completely go in there free will, because no, I just don't want to. I've lived by myself for almost 5 years now, like out of my own anyways. And no, I think it's been 4, I don't know, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter. Point is, like, can't do that. So those are the options right now. So anyways, past that, I know this is supposed to be more like me living in my car, whatever not, but these are the things that I've kind of came as well here for as well, like to be able to get out of the day-to-day routine, and be able to take a little sabbatical. I think that's the right terminology, and really be able to realign, right? Honestly, I would say for everybody who can get these little sabbaticals. I'm gonna keep calling it that, even if it's the wrong thing, but get these little sabbaticals. Every few months, right? Every few months, because even if you work, a career, a job, or you have a side hustle, or you own a business and run that full time, like no matter what the hell it is you do, it doesn't matter. It's just good to be able to take little sabbaticals and really be able to like have time to yourself. Like even if you have a family, like I mean, yeah, I don't have a family, so I'm not going to fully understand. Of course, I know everybody's going to say that, but I've been out with my family enough and my brothers and everything like that to understand, like, you can still take time to yourself. Like you can get that time if you ask for it, right? And your family is going to respect you. Like everybody needs time for themselves, because again, no matter what, everybody, every single one of you watching this right now, you are independent. You are your own freaking person, and there's nothing wrong with taking an hour or two throughout an entire 7 days, 5 days, however long you're staying out, to yourself, right? To yourself, by yourself, and just use it to think, right? Use it to think. That's perfectly fine. Like, you may feel weird doing it. You may feel like, it's not something you normally do. You don't sit there and think, what could I do different in my life, whatever it is. But it's good to do. It's honestly great to be able to understand yourself more and understand what's around you and understand what's going on, and really listen to your own mind. And I would highly recommend it for anybody, right? I would highly recommend it for anybody. Um, but enough about that. I don't want to get too like philosophical or anything. But and start talking about like meditation and why it's perfect or why it's great for you, and all this other stuff. So we're just gonna pass that. But nevertheless, done with the rant. I hope you all are having a great fucking time. I hope you're having a great Thanksgiving. I don't know if you'll see this, or maybe had a great Thanksgiving. I don't know when you'll see this. Maybe uh, today, or maybe yesterday. I don't know. I'll be posting this up later. So, nevertheless, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving if you celebrated. Yeah, past that, we will see you more than likely tomorrow. And yeah, I'll keep updated with what's going on, what happened tonight with meditation, what has been thought up, and what the potential plan is going to be, and any other questions that may have been answered. So, nevertheless, that's it. And this has been Caleb. Like I said, don't forget to follow along and subscribe if you want to follow along. And the whole likey the video thingy, that whole thing. So everybody says so. Nevertheless, you have a good night and enjoy. All right, we'll see you.